Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Spitballing. I'm Matt Taylor here with my good buddy,
Kyle Amundsen.
and we are flying Tandem today.
Yes.
And this time we are strapped to each other, so it's okay.
You just can't see how.
Yeah, it's a MeUndies thing.
More like tethered, perhaps. Docked, even.
So how was your week?
It's been a week.
Has it?
Yeah. Well, that's weird shit, lots of normal shit, it's been a week. I mean,
I did see your post on Facebook where about Christine and how all of your furniture is piled on one side of your apartment.
Yeah.
And it was a really cute post because you were like saying how she grew up without furniture, and it was cute.
Did you like my fictitious law that was passed in Boston?
Yeah. I thought that was very clever. I get a heck of a kick out of her, but you left your phone at home today.
Yes.
And
yes.
so I just messaged her and said, hey, Kyle's left his phone at home, so if you need to get hold of him, just contact me. And she said, Roger that. And I just got a hell of a kick out of it because it's just funny how people's kind of wear off on each other after a while.
Indeed.
Well, I have had a hell of a week as well. I got some, well, I don't want to really call it bad news because it's my good friend that benefits from it. But Ben Larson, Tharg's brother, who owns the building that my shop is located in, got an offer on the place, and the building is sold, which is great for him. He's been trying to sell it for a long time, and it's hard to move real estate in downtown Brainerd. But for the past probably year and a half or so, I've been kind of caretaking for the entire basement, the entire ground floor of that building. So I rent a space which is about 40 by 60 there, and that's where I have my shop. But the rest of the main floor has, some other, shop space, and then has some retail space. And a phenomenon called shop drift happened over the past couple year and a half or so, and I have an enormous amount of shit in the area that I'm not renting, and I have to get it out in just by the 20th. So coming right up. So I've been busier than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. It's been pretty crazy, but I think I'm going to get it done. I think it's going to be cool.
I'm surprised you didn't mix that one up, like the way your dad would do with his metaphors and
what
stuff.
What would my dad say?
Well, there's one. Actually, I've got one for that.
Okay.
Because it's two of them that means the same thing. It was, but they're both like really hillbilly sounding.
Okay.
And the one was busier than a 10-peckered billy goat.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Which and then busier than a one-legged man in the asking contest. So, like in the event that I were going to say it, I would use busier than a one-legged man with a 10-peckered billy goat.
I love it. That's
right?
perfect.
I thought
so. For those of you who don't know, I've talked about it a little bit before, but when I was growing up, my dad loved to mix his metaphors. He would say stuff like, son, you can lead a horse to water, but you don't want to look it in the mouth if it's going to give you something. And I was young enough where I wouldn't really understand that there were actual sayings. So I would ponder these things for a long time. And I know he was probably just fucking with me. I don't think he didn't actually know the saying, but honestly, I'm not real sure. And another one that he always said, and I still use it to this day, is, well, it doesn't take a rocket surgeon to figure that one out. And I love that one. And I'm like, I love rocket surgeon. Yeah. And then on top of all of this, I was on Facebook the other day. Weird. I know, it's weird. And I saw a post by Gavin Rydell saying that he had a bunch of built-in oak cabinets in his place, and he was looking for somebody to come and help him rip them out, and they could just have all the wood. And you know about my illness, right?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the malady.
I've never seen a piece of wood I could pass up. Right. I mean, the more nails, the better. It's a true sickness. Years ago, I got a phone call from Reed from Reed's Backhoe, and he's a guy who he and Brock used to work a lot together. And he sends me a message. Actually, it wasn't a phone call. He sent me a message, and it was a picture of a pile of these like they're kind of like they're like maybe 4x6s, and it's a fucking pile of them, and there's nails sticking out of them everywhere. And he sends me a message, and he says, "I know you can't pass these up. They'll be here till midnight." And I was like, fuck you. I have pictures of it on my Facebook of a truck full of these things. And I still have them all. I've never done anything with them. I mean, I made a few little things, but it's just like, I can't pass it up. But anyway, so on top of having to like condense all of my shit into my shop.
You acquired more shit.
A lot. So on Sunday, I gotta tell this story first. So I'm trying to get my shop cleaned out. So I need to, and I have 2 trailers, but I have one trailer that's 5x10, and it has been sitting in the driveway here for all winter. And when I was working on the studio, I had a bunch of garbage and cleaned it all up, and I threw it all in that trailer. Well, of course, I didn't get to bring it to the dump, and then it snowed, and it was all snowed in and everything like that. So I decide, okay, I got to bring that shit to the dump so I can get that trailer cleaned off, because I got to move all the shit out of the shop, and then also I need to go pick up these cabinets. Well, I get to the fucking dump, and I start pulling stuff off, and the fucking trailer just disintegrates. Because it had been sitting there all winter, and actually, like, it's a pretty great trailer, but I slapped these sides on pretty, they weren't made out of treated lumber or anything like that. And I'm like, God damn it, this is all I fucking need, is to now I have to rebuild this trailer, or else I can't go get these cabinets, I can't go whatever. So I fucking spend all day, all night, Thursday night, up till God hours in the morning, getting this, but it's really nice now. Really fucking, I went and got a bunch of treated lumber, and like, I made it nice.
I've decided I'm going to buy a beater pickup.
No, you should.
Like even a 2-wheel drive, like probably just a 2-wheel drive. Just some beater that
dude,
that runs and fucking because I need there's shit right now that I'm supposed to be picking up that is sitting because I couldn't fit it in the Honda.
Well, and dude, I do have my cargo van, and you're more than welcome to switch vehicles with me anytime you want. You can't put a child in it though.
Yeah,
it really doesn't have a passenger seat.
Yeah.
Technically it does, but I wouldn't put a child.
Just the box of a pickup, like.
Yeah, well, the nice thing, there are pros and cons to having it. I love my panel van.
I can get a lot of shit in that van.
Oh, dude, you can. And the thing that I love about my van so much is it's my traveling toolbox, because I have I have shelves up along the outside of it, and I have all my tools in it, and then I have padlocks on it, so I just padlock it up, so it's like it's my traveling toolbox. But still, you could fit, couch, and you can fit all sorts of crap in it. A lot of fucking cabinets as well.
How many guests can you fit in there?
They're
sometimes
living.
I have guests
Living 10 to 12.
Off with.
Well, yeah, living 10 to 12. Dead and stacked like firewood, 30, 35. Ooh. Yeah, it's up there. So
now you're talking to me, mama.
Anyway, so I rebuild my trailer, and then on Sunday I fly down to Minneapolis and spend all day with Gavin Rydell pulling out these beautiful, like, all oak, cabinetry, built-in cabinetry. And I get it. Like, he didn't like it, and he wants a totally different, thing. He was tired of them or whatever. But it's really nice wood. I would have refinished them right there, but whatever. And then I've put all that shit. So, man, like, my shop is literally floor to ceiling now. You could not, I couldn't use the table saw.
So you're staying in the shop for the time being. You still got that space.
I'm gonna be able to continue to rent my space.
Gotcha. My space.
If is all up in my Facebook. I wrote a rap one time with the band Menagerbation, and it was back when MySpace and Facebook were fighting, and the whole idea of it was that this guy's at the bar, and he's like, and he's all pro MySpace, and then he like meets this chick, and then she's like, "Oh, hit me up on Facebook," and he's like. And the chorus is all like, my MySpace is all up in your Facebook, right? And then she's like, hey, just hit me up on Facebook. And he goes, Facebook. So anyway, funny. It was funny. They never did it. Anyway, so I got to spend all day with Gavin Rydell, which was like I was there for like 7 hours, and we worked our asses off. It was hard work. We were sweaty and nasty and gross and manly, and hugging and shit. And anyway, I just had so much fun. We talked about everything.
I think you just wrote an entry in the Extreme Ownership Facebook page. And never mind, if you haven't checked it out, it's fucking
Extreme Ownership.
Yeah,
You're talking about Jocko Willnick's book. Podcast.
There's an Extreme Ownership like Facebook page.
Okay.
That a friend of ours invited me to join, and I checked it out, and I quit it eventually because it's full of fucking. But we'll talk about that another time.
I do like Jocko Willnick, and I actually do like the
he
concept
seems
of
alright,
extreme
but
ownership.
he really attracts some fucking.
As does Joe Rogan, right? Like, but everybody gets extremes. But I want to finish about fucking Gavin. So anyway, so I'm on there all day with Gavin, and I'm having just a blast. And when we had Gavin on the podcast, we really focused on talking about the vape industry, and we briefly mentioned that he was pivoting to something new. And this is another one of these. This is a word not from our sponsors. He's got this new line of CBD water, and he gave us some samples that we can try. And I've been drinking this shit, and it's fucking wonderful. And I'll explain why. I know it's so wonderful in just a second. But yeah, try one. So I'm gonna do the so we got Bliss, which is a grapefruit flavored one. We got Balance, which is like a blueberry lemon. And then I got this Chill, which is berry acai.
It says here on the can that this will allow me to pound the railroad spikes through a 2x4 with my erect penis.
It does not claim that.
That is a bold claim.
That is a bold claim. But I think that's all you, baby.
I'm going to try it.
It's really good. I love bubbly water. I drink bubbly water like crazy.
Oh, it smells lovely.
Yeah. And it's just lightly flavored. It has no calories and all that kind of shit. But it's infused with CBD.
Lightly flavored, like a long dead trout's asshole with kind of an oily aftertaste.
You are fucking lying. It's very good. Anyway.
You think so? Not for me.
Oh, you don't like it?
I mean, I'll finish.
I'll drink all those, goddammit. Okay, so I don't know if you guys out there, I know you know a little bit about what CBD does, but and I don't want to talk too much about how this works because honestly I don't fucking understand it. But what Gavin's company is doing, and it's called BLNDC, and if you want to know more information, you can get it at BLNCD naturals.com, and I'll put a link in there.
Yeah, we'll link that shit. Just because I said that tastes like butt, like I'm kind of I drink Coors Light, all right? So fucking don't take my word for shit, you know, like
right. Is this spicy? Yeah, it's really spicy. It's water, Kyle. It's lightly flavored water.
Right. Well, I had to get that fucking spicy mayo flavor out of my mouth, so I needed that water stuff.
So what they do in this company is they take CBD from, cannabis. It comes from weed, and they bring it down to its like primary components, and then they add it back in. So it's really an interesting process. It's expensive as fuck too, by the way, but they're marketing it to bars, and they have I don't remember how we said 103 bars down in the metro area that are now carrying it.
Cool.
Yeah, and you know what they get for it down there? Like $8 a can.
Too much by the flavor. Really?
$8 by the can. But I'm looking at trying to get it up here in Brainerd. I'm gonna try to convince Rob Lewis to get it at the 9th Street Social Club. But anyway, yeah. So we'll link to it. But it's super cool, and I really liked it. But here's the important thing. This week, I put a post on Facebook, on my personal Facebook, and it went a little ballistic, or it went a little,
Well, and it was a very like well written, well thought out, kind of temperate.
Well, here's the thing.
It was not inflammatory at all. You were just putting something out there, but Facebook posts seem to take a life of their own. Like a lot of times I'll post something, I'll be like, "This is funny," like because I just scroll by other people. I see people posting fucking stupid shit all the time, offensive shit. Whatever, I don't give a fuck. Like I just scroll on by. Not everybody can scroll on by. Apparently, if you disagree with something, no matter how temperate, no matter how like well thought out, or like for that matter factual and well researched it is, you need your opinion on their like stat, no matter how fucking stupid it is.
Right.
So people don't really respect that. They just throw shit out there, and then and the reason that I there was at one point on yours.
Right. Yeah. Let me read the post, and then we'll explain what happened to it. Okay. So originally the post said, I don't want to go. Okay. It said, "Okay, my fellow Dems, I've been thinking." Oh, let me explain how this came about. So I went down there with Gavin, and on the way back, I got done with the book that I was listening to. Right. I'm driving down the road because I used my jawbones, and I'm driving, so I don't want to like stop and try to find another podcast or whatever. I'm just like, fuck it. The book's over. So I take my jawbones off, and I just rode back the rest of the way in silence, which I like to do. But I don't do it very often. I'm so kind of a junkie for input. I listen to so much stuff that sometimes I forget that it's really good to just not listen to anything.
I never listen to anything in the car anymore.
Oh my God. Always. I never listen to music, but I always am listening to something. I can't get in the car and go to Caribou without fucking starting a podcast. I mean, I'm bad.
I listen to nothing, especially not directions.
Right. So, and I was drinking some of this wonderful, what did you call it?
Salmon fish ass water.
Yeah. So I was drinking some of this nice CBD infused bubbly water, and I just was feeling just like good, man. And my body was tired. I still had a lot of work to do because I had to unload all this fucking shit. But I just was kind of feeling good, and I started thinking about like our current political system. Or not just our political system, but our situation, our current political situation. And this is what occurred to me. So I said, okay, my fellow Dems, I've been thinking, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So obviously I was feeling chill, right? Because I don't think I usually say that. People who voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016 are pretty likely to vote for whoever gets the Democratic nomination, right? I think we can agree on that. I mean, I'm sure there may be a few holdouts, but we know that at least there are people who are the people that voted for Hillary. At least we know they voted, and they're willing to vote for a less than perfect candidate, even if they have to run home and take a shower immediately after casting their vote. Okay, so if we agree on that, then I think we can agree that people who strongly supported Bernie in 2016 and either refused to vote for Hillary or voted for a third party are no more likely to vote for Uncle Joe in 2020. Okay? So that's my logical argument. We know that the people who voted for Hillary are probably going to vote for whoever the Democratic candidate is, regardless of who it is. And we also know that the people who held out for Bernie last time are probably not going to vote for Joe. Okay? So I thought you just burped.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're all burpy from your CBD.
Yeah,
you're all jacked up on CBD bliss.
Yeah.
So if we really do want somebody other than Trump to be our next president, I think Bernie is the only choice. Okay? He may not be your choice, but if you want a Democrat in the White House, he's the only candidate that actually has a chance to win. In order for Uncle Joe to win, you have to believe he is more popular in battleground states than Hillary was. And I simply don't think that's true. Either that, or you have to believe that the people who voted for Trump last time are less likely to vote for him this time. I have yet to meet any of the latter. Maybe they exist, but I don't believe that they exist in the numbers required to make a difference. So that was basically my argument, is that the way I see it is about 40% of the electorate is going to vote red no matter what, and about 40% of the electorate is going to vote blue no matter what. You're really just fighting over that 20%. The problem is that if Joe Biden gets the Democratic nomination, that percentage that's less likely to vote for him because they're holdouts for Bernie is larger. Now, on the other hand, Trump actually gets a percentage of that 20% because he's fucking Trump, because some people just want to vote for fucking Cheeto craziness.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Right. So that was my premise. What did you think?
I think Uncle Joe, a couple of things. He enjoys some weird popularity some weird popularity with older Democrats, more conservative Democrats, as well as I've been surprised at how popular he is in the African American community.
That's true.
And he has a little bit of appeal for like sane Republicans,
right?
Like conscientious people that cannot bring themselves to fucking vote for Donald Trump. But I think if the DNC is banking on that, I think they might be overestimating his appeal to those people.
Right.
Now, I don't think that, of course, I think that Bernie is a fucking much better candidate. And he's clearly a better person,
Yeah, but I didn't even want to debate like Bernie's or Joe's pros and cons.
Sure.
I just want to debate who can win.
You just put that out there. Yeah. Which, yeah, I totally.
Because I don't think it fucking matters whether or not you like Bernie or you don't like Bernie, or you like Joe or you don't like Joe. I'm just trying to say, I know what I don't like for sure. I don't like Trump. So which one of these guys could actually get the W? And I don't think that choice is Bernie.
But I do not like the fact that people are going to, I understand why people are like Bernie or nobody.
I agree with you.
But I don't like the fact that they're willing to be like, fuck it. I'm just not going to, I'm just going to write it in. If the guy, if fucking Joe gets the nod, you got to fucking go.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. But I want to wait a second to do it.
Okay. Now, like, you can do like Mike does.
Mike Starry.
And just go with principle.
That was one of my favorite things that Mike Starry said. If you didn't see it, Mike Starry is a friend of ours who is a small case L, whatever that means. And he's a fucking crazy gun nut, but also a very articulate, very intelligent man who did a really good job explaining kind of how we were being idiots on some of the
and I like that he doesn't really identify as a libertarian.
Yeah, little L libertarian.
Because that helps me because he fucks up my idea of libertarians anyway.
Right.
Libertarians are usually
that was nice.
Fucking
but that was my favorite.
Cunts.
One of my favorite things that he said when I said, well, like, who are you going to support? Who do you vote for? And he's like, see, I'm a constitutional purist, and I don't actually get to vote for anybody who wins. And he's like, he said in his entire voting career, he's voted for only for Jesse Ventura, and he's the only person who ever won. That, and then everybody else lost, like Ross Perot and whoever else he said he had voted for.
But that principle thing, I don't. Cool, good, that's great. But 4 more years to fucking Trump.
We'll come back to it, but I want to put a pin in. I said it, Rob. I want to put a pin in the holdouts, okay? Because I want to get back to holdouts, but that's not what I want to discuss right now.
Okay.
So the premise is you don't disagree that there's going to be holdouts. If they were holdouts in 2016,
there certainly will be.
If there were holdouts in 2016, there's most certainly going to be holdouts in 2020. You don't think like the Bernie burn got less in the last 4 years? Did it?
No.
No.
No, I think it's strengthened.
And so I think that people see that 4 years ago, the DNC tried to kind of fuck Bernie out of the nomination.
Successfully.
And 4 years ago they really did. Now, I think a lot of people are perceiving the same thing happening. Now, I don't think that it necessarily is happening, at least not as, robustly as it did 4 years ago. But there was some pretty weird shit, like how every moderate Democrat pulled out of the race before Super Tuesday and fucking endorsed.
The fix is in.
It did feel like that, right?
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
That certainly didn't make the Bernie supporters. And when I say Bernie, I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter, but I'm not a Bernie supporter in the sense it's not Bernie or bust for me. But the people who it was Bernie and bust in 2016 aren't going to fucking change their mind. And there's nothing that has happened in the last 4 years that made them do so.
I think I would like to think that after like watching this fucking like 3.5 year dumpster fire, that a lot of them have learned their fucking lesson.
So you might think that, but I think the evidence is the opposite direction.
I'm afraid that the evidence is the opposite direction.
I think
people are fucking like sick of being pushed around by the fucking DNC and like, I'm not going to fucking vote for you because you won't respond to the will of the people, which I totally get.
Friend of the show, Trinity. She I don't remember what episode she was on, but she was the one who cut Tharg's hair on the episode. She's been a Bernie supporter for a really long time. She's very vocal about it on Facebook. And she said in the comments of this post that 4 years ago she did that. She went and voted for Hillary Clinton and had to like hold down the bile as she did so.
Sure, like everybody.
And she said, never again. I'm never going to do that again.
I saw that.
I don't want to vote for somebody who makes me.
Baby, you're breaking my heart.
But I get it, Trin.
I get it too.
I get it. It didn't make me feel good.
No, fuck no.
I want to be like Mike Starry. I want
to be like Mike.
A little bit better shape without the heart attack. I don't know, his hair's not so great, but no, I love Mike. I want to be able to be uncompromising, but it's very, very hard to do it when we're in a system that it's
yeah.
Now,
it's easy for Mike to say he's fucking immortal.
Now, when I wrote this post, I felt like I was trying to like say, hey, my team, Dems, all right, let's talk about this. Let's try to figure it out. And of course, what happens when you do that? Just give me that fucking thing and grab your water. You can't. Don't be making that face.
I need to try the other ones.
Well, fucking go at it.
They can't all taste the same.
You're not gonna be helping Gavin very much if you puke any. Oh, you know what? I don't like that one as well. The grapefruit. Actually, yeah, which is weird because I like grapefruit. But man, try this purple one. I like this one. It's the acai. So what happens when you put a post out there that's kind of like sincere and honest, and you want your people to kind of like weigh in. What do you think happens?
The cousin fuckers find you.
Bang.
They find you like they find their cousins.
The conversation started out pretty good, and then it got, of course, all about fucking, trumpety, and I like the idea of public discussion.
Discourse, yeah.
It's public discourse. I really do, and I don't want to be in an echo chamber, and I don't want only the people that agree with me to talk to me.
But do you want people changing the fucking subject entirely to get their fucking agenda, to push their fucking agenda and stuff?
No. And so I did something that I usually don't do. And
Clean it up.
I cleaned it up.
Gotta clean it up.
I'm not even gonna look to find it because it'll be on. I'm scrolling through everything. But basically I said, okay, guys, I usually don't do this, but in this in this stream, I'm not going to allow anybody to put up pro-Trump bullshit. This is about the question I want to answer is which Democrat or which Democratic candidate has the best chance of winning the election or beating the election or beating Trump. And I'm just not going to tolerate any of the other stuff. And if you continue to do it, I'm going to continue to delete it. And if you continue to do it, I'm going to block you. And, but my brother, of course, kind of fucking started it. And I actually really respected the way he ducked out of it. He started out and he basically said something to the extent of both the candidates are crap. Trump's going to trounce them both, blah, 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 blah. And I said, Kevin, I don't think you read it. It says my fellow Dems. You don't have a seat at the table. And he said, oh, my bad. I just was really upset about that comment above because it was a really dumb point. And I'm like, and I said, you're right. You have a good point that no matter who gets the nomination, it's going to be an uphill battle because the economy's good and so on and so forth. But that's not what we're discussing here. So you don't have a seat at the table. And he abdicated out of the conversation and said, you have the floor. Ron Barron's said something about, I love it all. The retards came in and Kevin recognized he was one of them, said, I'm sorry. I was out of line. You have the floor. I thought that was really great. Paul Coring wasn't so great about it. He was posting fucking pictures of Trump riding a bear and all this kind of stuff. I did get a kick out of Dave Bedell because he said something to the extent of,
the wrestling thing?
What about wrestling?
Yeah.
And posted a bunch of WWE stuff.
Well, that was after I commented about how we needed to talk about that.
Right. What did you want to talk about that quote?
Well, I put that quote in there about shit. I don't even remember. It was something to the effect that about you like cleaning it up because you had a purpose for that, and it wasn't to fucking like let someone change the subject and shit.
Right.
No, I ran into that a lot myself. Some shit I open up for conversation, and that's great because I want to hear what other people have to say about it and stuff. Now some stuff I just want to put it out there and I want to remain on topic.
Right.
I want to talk about something and that's what I want to talk about, and it's my fucking Facebook. I have had people, I thought this was America. What about my First Amendment rights and shit?
You're on my fucking Facebook
people
page.
Trying to fucking like.
That's like coming over. That's like coming over to my house, sitting at my table, and telling me that, your wallpaper's the wrong color or whatever. It's like,
it's cousin Eddie behavior.
Right.
Like
you don't.
Yeah. You're fucking you're being a bad guest.
And the thing is I get to control it. It's just like click and delete. And if you keep going, I get to ban you or block you.
And see, I actually I have this fucking urge. I'm like, man, now I'm fucking like stifling the conversation. I'm like, am I stifling the conversation? Because I very seldom delete anyone's posts, but I'm gonna do it fucking more.
I never have.
Because I have some really rude motherfuckers on my friends list. And you can't have a fucking conversation. You can't post something funny without some butthurt dipshit fucking going off. And you can't tell people, like, even when I say, no, this is what I'm doing here, and I don't want to hear any of this shit, do the same thing that you try to do.
Well, yeah, and in that last post I made but that one was an accident. I didn't expect to get into a fucking battle on Facebook over that one. All I did was like, ooh, this is an interesting article. Check it out. And then what the fuck? 400 comments. I got people. I just put people on a list that I'm going to kill.
And I don't
never did that.
I don't come over to other people's Facebook and be a fucking asshole either.
I don't
do it. But some people are super comfortable doing it. Which, if I've told you, just respect my fucking wishes. But I have had people basically, and I had to delete. I unfriended a guy because everything that I fucking posted, he had some stupid bullshit to say about. He was always trying to change the subject, and then attacking me personally and shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. And and this is somebody that this is obviously somebody that I like. Most people on my Facebook, this is someone that I know in real life, in person,
right?
And I'm like, motherfucker, you don't ever talk like that to anyone. In face to face,
right?
Right, and just being a rude cunt, and just fucking, it's ridiculous. But like people just feel so goddamn entitled to, like, they're so in love with their fucking opinion that regardless of whether you want it or not, they're going to try to force their shit on, like, into your conversation on your fucking space.
Right.
And they're just so okay with that, fuck you.
Right. So after I did that, and then I also put right on the top of the post, I went in and edited it, and I said, no trolling will be tolerated on this post. It was like a switch was flipped, and the conversation got so much better.
Cool.
I only had to delete one. I deleted 3 comments, but 2 of them were by the same person. And I may have misread his comments. I read them, and I thought. And then he messaged me, and he was like, dude, I don't understand why you deleted my comments. And I'm like, because you're being a dick. And he's like, well, that's not what I didn't. And so he kind of explained himself, and I said, I may have misread your comments. Feel free to reword them.
It's also not your fault if somebody has
I thought you were coming off as
communicating.
a fucking dick. And then all he put on there was, sorry, my comments got deleted because Matt got butthurt. I was like, okay, well, I think you probably were being a dick then. But and then some of the people who I've been having bashing heads with lately, Craig Vensky among them, I actually got to say, really chipped in on this conversation in a really
He's an
articulate
insightful guy,
and intellectual way. And he made a point that I think is the point. And he tried to do it before on the Spitballing Facebook page. I can't remember on one of I think it was on Mike's episode or whatever, or maybe it was on the one where we just ranted or I ranted. But essentially where you were saying, well, I don't know why you don't just vote for Trump then. Trump and Bernie are the same thing. And that, remember he said that? Something that they said to that?
No.
Oh, really? Because you went gorilla.
Oh, well, he told me that I sounded like a Trump
you sounded
supporter,
like a Trumper. Yeah, and why don't you just vote for Trump, or why don't you just support Trump? Because Bernie and Trump are the same thing. Okay, that's a really bullshit, crazy thing to say.
Yeah,
but now in my
he often says really smart shit.
Well, see, he said the exact same thing on my post, but he said it articulately, and it makes a pretty huge difference. So what he was saying in this post, and I'm just summing this up, is that Trump is no more of a Republican than Bernie is a Democrat.
Sure.
Okay. And because
if anybody if for those of you laboring under the misconception that Donald Trump is a conservative, you're probably a fucking idiot.
Right. He was like a registered Democrat for a long time and gave money to a bunch of Democratic candidates, blah, blah, blah. But whether you wanted, I don't even want to discuss that. But his point was Trump is no more of a Republican than Bernie Sanders is a Democrat.
Totally fair.
And the reason that Trump was able to win the 2016 election is because he wasn't a Republican. Because the 40% that are going to vote red no matter who their fucking person is, right? Voted red no matter who that person is. And then the people who were just the agitator Trump supporters voted, and that's what made the difference. Now, I'm like, Craig, you made my point. If we put run-of-the-mill Joey B up there, and we don't think that the 40% has moved, which I don't think it really has. I think there are a ton of Republicans who are completely disillusioned with Donald Trump. They're still going to vote for Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah. And those motherfuckers don't break ranks.
They don't break ranks.
They're fucking soulless. They'll just do it.
I don't even think they'll have to take a shower afterward. They'll just be like, did my civic duty.
I didn't fucking give in to the goddamn smart people.
And you know what? I respect them for that. Not breaking ranks is an interesting thing. We Democrats should fucking try it sometime. But anyway, that said,
we think too much.
So if that 40% isn't moving,
well, when I say we, I'm identifying as a Democrat for the purposes of this exercise because I know I will vote Democrat against.
Yeah, we've said Veerman Supreme is my guy if that's the Democratic nomination. Yeah.
I don't fucking
boot hat guy.
I don't like to identify as a Democrat because those guys fucking suck. But
Pete Charpentier is a friend of mine. He's actually he's a guy I like more on Facebook than I like in real life.
I don't know him in real life. But
I mean,
would love
I
him
like
on
him in
Facebook.
real life, but he's much more funny and articulate on Facebook. In real life,
As am I.
you know, it just I don't think that's true at all. But anyway, he said, I will vote for cheese sandwich if he is if he gets the Democratic nod. And I was like, cheese sandwich it is. Okay, so my point is, so Craig's point, and I think it was valid, is that you're right. Bernie Sanders really isn't a Democrat. He's been an independent. He's a democratic socialist, which I don't actually even think he is.
Excellent point, my friend.
And right, but Craig, it comes off a lot better if you approach it that way than it comes off if you say, well, why don't you just support Trump? They're the same thing. See, one, you say the exact same thing, but one way makes you a dickhole and the other one not so much.
They don't like people that don't. Yeah, he's made that comment about us not liking people that didn't like vote like we did or think like we did or whatever. You know, and when it had been, you know, it at that point it had been over a month since we had another liberal on the show. So you know, like I took umbrage to that as well, but that's neither here nor there.
Well,
I mean,
I think
sometimes I say stupid shit.
I,
Sometimes Craig says stupid shit.
Yeah,
Sometimes we
I think we
shit.
made up for it by. I mean, there was no choice about it. That show should have just been called, you know, two lip tards in a fucking echo chamber. That's okay. Every once in a while I need an echo chamber.
It's our fucking show. It's just like it's our fucking Facebooks.
I have two more. I wanna get back to the holdouts. But the one other thing, oh, son of a bitch, I just had it and lost it. I hate that. I'm just never going to do that again.
Don't hold out.
But let's jump into
come aboard for the big win.
Okay. So the thing about the holdouts, right? Now, you got to remember that most of the people, and I'm making a big generalization here, but I'm just going to say a lot of the people that were really fired up for Bernie Sanders in 2016 were not regular voting Democrats, right?
There
were definitely a lot of regular
some dirty hippies coming out of the woodwork.
There were definitely a lot of regular voting Democrats that really loved Bernie Sanders. But I highly doubt, or I would say that let me make it a little bit safer, that the vast majority of lifelong Democrats that were really fired up about Bernie Sanders and pissed off that he didn't get the nomination and thought that he was fucked by the DNC still voted for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I was in that boat. Honestly, I didn't pay a whole hell of a lot of attention in the 2016 election. And partially it was because I thought that it was just ridiculous that like Donald Trump could actually win. So I was like, well, I mean, this is a fucking kind of a joke. But I still thought the best candidate was Bernie Sanders, and I thought he totally got fucked by the DNC. But I did my civic duty, and I took my shower afterward, and I voted for the H, right? But I was not the typical Sanders supporter. The typical Sanders supporter was a person who probably hasn't voted before, or if they have voted, they've voted third party, or this is maybe the first time they can vote, and he fucking fired those people up, and they wanted to support him. And once he got fucked, they weren't going to put their fucking support behind Hillary. I mean, they don't even participate in this system, right? Okay. Now, Amanda Schwarzkopf, who I think is intelligent and I think has a lot of good points. I think she made a very, very in-depth argument on here. I think she's got it wrong. And she was saying, if Bernie can't get the nomination because he can't get the voters out to the polls for the primary, there's no way he can get the voters out for the general election.
I don't believe that.
I think that is a straw man argument.
I think a lot of people skip the primaries.
Actually, not just a straw man argument.
No, I mean, a lot of people do skip the primaries.
They do. I mean, it's a small percentage of people that vote in the primaries. And the way it's even like put out there is it's the Democratic or Republican primary. I'm sorry, but a lot of people who want to vote for Bernie Sanders do not identify themselves as Democrats.
True.
Right? So I think that it's that sort of, okay, did we cover the holdouts enough for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, guys, I do think come this November, regardless of who gets the nomination, you really just need to ask yourself, do I want to have Donald Trump in the White House for the next 4 years? And if you do, stay home. But if you don't, just go and vote for whoever the fuck they put up, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Stay home and make sweet, sweet love to that blood relative.
I don't believe that all Trump supporters are that.
I can prove it.
I believe that there are some.
They are.
Okay, so Kent Johnson, I think, really articulately put that argument forward about like how there were, and I said,
another one of our smart friends.
So then I summed it up and for dumb people, and I was like, yes, I think the way that it is that you have an army of donkeys and you have an army of elephants, and they're pretty equal, and the battle could go either way, right? But then you have a small group of wolverines that is totally willing, and they're ferocious motherfuckers, and they're totally willing to fight for the donkeys, but only if their general gets to lead the army. And I think that's the analogy we're looking at here. Is I think that if the Democratic Party can see themselves to nominate Bernie Sanders as the Democratic candidate, they're gonna be able to recruit the Wolverines. Wolverines. That's why I chose Wolverines. Red Dawn reference, baby. And therefore win.
The old Red Dawn from the 80s, not that piece of shit they made a few years ago.
There was only one Red Dawn.
Yeah, well,
there was only one Conan the Barbarian.
Indeed.
That's it. So that's pretty much what sums that up. Now,
we need to have movie night for you fucking millennials.
Last point. I don't think there's any chance Bernie Sanders is getting the Democratic nomination.
Not a fucking chance.
I think that what I'm saying
fix is in, baby.
So I think that what I'm saying is not rocket surgery. I think that the election analysts also think this, that basically Joe Biden's not going to win.
No.
I don't think that the DNC is even trying to pick a candidate that can win. I think now they would love Joe Biden to win, but they're not trying. But they would rather Joe Biden get the nomination and lose than Bernie Sanders get the nomination and win.
It's all in the hands of the rich people that fucking run the country.
Well,
the oligarchs, man. The
problem is that Bernie Sanders wrecks the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think
it needs wrecking.
That's what I think. Now I'm definitely in the minority of Democrats. The problem is, and this is the crazy thing, is that I don't even agree with fucking Bernie that much. I mean, I agree with him on Medicare for all. But even on the Medicare for all, I actually think his version of Medicare for all is a little too extreme, and I think that there's room for moving on him. But this is what I do think about Bernie Sanders. I don't think he's beholden to the powers that be. And I think he's the only candidate that's not beholden to the powers that be.
And he seems to be a man of integrity.
That's just exactly the same. Yeah.
The only guy that we're talking about in the fucking election.
I think the only other one was Tulsi Gabbard. Now there were things about Tulsi that I had issues with, but not taking corporate money, not being beholden to the powers that be.
I love Elizabeth Warren. I would like to see a Warren Sanders.
So now Warren,
my dream ticket.
I had been took a pretty good look at Warren, and I liked her as well. I was pretty disappointed with her that she did not endorse Bernie Sanders right after the Super Tuesday. And I also kind of felt like after all of those other candidates like dropped out and put their support against Joe, if she would have also abdicated and put her support with Bernie, I would have followed her to the gates of hell.
Sure.
But she didn't. And I'm disappointed. I'm not saying that she's a cunt. But she's definitely a cuh.
She's an aunt.
She's an aunt. That's right. Actually, that's become a thing that people say, and I think we need to do T-shirts that say, "Don't be such a fucking aunt," or "Don't be such a." We probably can't say "fucking" because I want to be able to wear that shirt around, but okay, we can. We'll give a fuck. Did we beat that? Did we lead that horse to water and
we're I think
look at it in its mouth
that.
when it was going to give you something?
Yeah. In closing, I would like to say that we don't have to be satisfied. Like if you're thinking about just sitting it out because Bernie looks like he's not gonna fucking be the guy, don't fucking do that. If you want to like show them, if you want to, get like stand up and be counted, and like rebuild like the Democratic Party or whatever, then start that shit maybe early December, maybe the day after the election. Fuck it. Like, just start at that point. Don't choose this fucking time right here to, for the last great act of defiance. Let's fucking get beyond like this Trump shit and then tear this motherfucker apart. And by this motherfucker, I mean the Democratic, the DNC. And yeah, so that's all I've got on that.
Yeah, but I feel for you. I mean, when I was, I don't know, 2022, I think was when Ralph Nader, and the Green Party made their bid for the presidency. Well, no, what year was that? Because that
Ralph
was
Nader, we wound up
2000.
with. We wound up with W. And,
so basically that was the year that Al Gore.
And we went to Iraq.
And Al Gore would have made a great president. I mean, if Al Gore, like back then, was running today, he would have gotten the nod easily. And that, even if he hadn't won the Nobel Peace Prize. But, Al Gore was running against George W. Bush, and Ralph Nader was running as a third party. And he made an awesome splash as far as third party goes, and he did really good or whatever. And people would fucking, my friends who were most of them liberal and Democrats would be just so fucking pissed at me and saying like, if you fucking vote for Nader, you're going to be the reason that we get fucking, Trump or Bush Jr. And I was like, I was quoting Starry and saying, lesser of two evils is still evil. And after but I also believed that it was going to be that I believed in my heart that I was kind of throwing my vote away, but it didn't really matter because I was so sure that Gore was going to win anyway. And when he didn't, I'm like third party, I have like third party aversion syndrome. Now, something that Ralph Nader and I say I don't, but I was a lot more liberal back then. Actually, I was like a total Nader. But one of the things that the Green Party really wanted to institute is something called instant runoff elections or instant runoff voting. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. But that's where, regardless of party, well, you explain it.
So instant runoff voting is where you rank your candidates. Okay. So like, let's say, you don't have to have like a Democrat, a Republican. Yeah, you could have a pile of people. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You could have 5 Republicans, 3 Democrats. It just wouldn't matter. So let's just say right now, that's the way it was. And your choices were, Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know who else I'm missing, but I don't need them all. And then Donald Trump and Mitt Romney and who else would be a possible Republican?
They're all shitbags.
Okay,
Okay, I'm
let me
just
just put
kidding,
this out here right now. If Mitt Romney and Joe Biden were the candidates,
I might vote for Mitt Romney.
I would definitely take a better look at that
Yeah.
election than, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, and then
Well, there's something that
give me two other Republicans.
Let's see.
Oh fuck it, it doesn't matter. And then two
Well, I
other
was just thinking
Republicans.
about guys from the last election, but then I'm like, none of those guys are even fucking like. I mean,
Oh, Sarah Palin. Okay,
Yeah.
so there we go. So
well, I mean, that was I was trying to fucking think of the guys, the surgeon guy. He's a fucking nut job, but he is a surgeon. He's a doctor. Yeah, fuck that guy. Anyway,
So now you get to the polls. So you don't. There's no party. I mean, you might have a party affiliation, but you don't vote Democrat or Republican. You can vote for all three Democrats. You can vote for all three Republicans, but it really doesn't matter. So maybe my choices there might be, my first choice would be Bernie Sanders. My second choice would maybe be Elizabeth Warren.
Sure.
And oddly enough, my third choice is Mitt Romney. Okay, so that's it. Now, let's say Bernie Sanders doesn't get enough of the vote to be competitive, and that depends on how much of the vote there is. But so then my vote for him gets thrown away, and my second choice becomes my first choice. So now Elizabeth Warren is my first choice.
it's a great fucking system, and I don't know why we don't have it because I think
I know exactly why we
its
don't have
appeal is very broad and bipartisan.
Yeah, boom. I'll tell you exactly
Well,
why we
not
don't have it.
bipartisan, it's just broad.
I'll tell you exactly why we don't have it. Number 2, Elizabeth Warren. Oh shit, she didn't get enough of the vote. So my third choice becomes my first choice. And you could have 5, you could have 10. It doesn't, it can vary.
I love it.
Here, and it's a fucking no-brainer. It's the way Ireland, there's a whole bunch of countries that actually have instant runoff elections. Ireland's a really good example of it. The reason that America, I highly doubt, will ever get instant runoff voting is because you can't put a humongous amount of money into a campaign then with any reliable results. And therefore, you can't buy politicians, and therefore, it's never going to fucking happen.
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds terrible.
Right.
Oh, wait.
Right. But all of the things that we have been bitching about that, and there's several, I don't know, 150, 200 comments on that, and I deleted a bunch. Most of it is this vitriol between people who think, that almost nobody on there. There are a few like, I don't know, Sabra Love, who like just fucking hates Bernie, and I just don't get it. I mean, I'm like, how bad can you?
Is it because he's white and straight?
Maybe. I just don't know. I'm like, and then also he didn't comment on here, but my buddy Mark Roloff also is just like, Bernie is a fucking devil, and I'm like, wow, I don't see how you
People are
get
fucking
there.
weird
I just
like
don't
that.
see how you get there. But most of it was not Bernie's so much better than Joe and Joe's so much better than Bernie. It's all about what people are mostly mad about. Even people who support Bernie are mad that the holdouts are not going to vote for Biden if he gets the nod. And there's so much anger about that, and I get it. And I really want to encourage you this November, no matter who gets the fucking nod, please don't vote. If you don't vote for the Democratic nomination, you vote for Trump. Whether you stay home or whether you actually vote for Trump, it's pretty much the same thing. So, or if you vote for the third party. Yeah, instant runoff elections solve that problem instantaneously. Now, and we've gone on way too far on this one, but how could we get instant runoff elections? It's impossible, right? Because all the money, there's no way they're going to do instant runoff elections up there.
Yeah, because you're voting against big money, and big money is where fucking, these candidates is where presidents come from.
So in my opinion, the way to get instant runoff elections is the same way Mike Starry and his group are trying to get Second Amendment sanctuaries. And it's not to pass it at a federal level. It's to get communities, townships, cities, counties, eventually states to institute instant runoff elections. I don't think we're ever going to get the Senate or the Congress to make a law that says we need instant runoff elections.
Yeah, no, you've got pieces of human shit like Mitch McConnell out there, who's
right.
like worse than Donald Trump. He's the worst fucking guy. He's the worst human.
But but the way you could do it is over a period of time, because I think it's not really that unrealistic for us to get that passed in the city of Brainerd. I know this dude, Dave Bedell, and I'm gonna talk to him about it. Why not do let's institute instant runoff elections? Let's just do it as in Brainerd. It probably won't make much of a difference. I mean, there usually aren't enough candidates, but we do it as an example, and we try to move forward. And then the county board does it, and then so on and so forth. And I believe now, since I watched that one video on Facebook, Craig, that's probably the only way change happens.
Love those callbacks.
So, yeah, I know. That's probably the only way that change actually happens is you take a little chip out of the bottom, and you take a little chip out of the bottom, and you take a little chip out of the bottom, and pretty soon, we have a constitutional guarantee of gay marriage. And when 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I fucking thought that was an impossibility, and yet there it is. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's try to do that.
All right.
Well, let's take a little break because I have to pee out a whole bunch of CBD water.
Yeah.
Which I was just going to say.
Now I've got to stand up and walk over there, and I've got that erection. Then I drank this one, which tastes a lot better, and I think my penis grew.
It doesn't do anything for your penis. Oh, but one thing that I will say about it, and I meant to make this point earlier, is that I never got pretty much the whole time I was like engaging in this Facebook debate. I never got riled up. I never got pissed off.
You didn't even get disgusted?
No, I felt very
disgusted is a big one.
I felt very chill and balanced and fucking calm. I really did. Even when I was telling people, look, instead of saying listen, asshole, I'm not going to tolerate your fucking bullshit. I was like, this is not the place where I'm going to allow people to say pro-Trump stuff. So if that's what you want to do, I think that's totally fine. I'm glad that you love Trump. Your guy has the nomination.
Put it on your Facebook. I won't say anything stupid or hateful about it.
If you want to continue to put it on here, I'm just gonna delete it. And if you want to continue to do it, then I'm gonna block you. And I felt like I was never upset. Even with Paul Coring, who actually I enjoy as a human, not necessarily as a politician, but as a human, he's fun. And the shit he was putting on there, I'm like, it's fine. I'm just deleting you. So I think this shit works, and you should really check it out. So that's our not sponsor.
Well, I'm about to be 3 cans into this mission, and that one did taste a lot better.
Yeah, I think grapefruit's a weird mix, but.
Well, yeah,
and you don't drink bubbly
that one tasted
water
like something
anyway.
that fucking would leak out of a fucking dumpster behind a bar or some shit. It was
I like it.
Dab. No, this one we'll see.
That one was my favorite one.
Really good.
Oh. Wait, is that the acai? No, this one, the chill, the berry acai.
That one was pretty.
Do you know about acai?
That first one tastes like something that you'd wring out of a fucking homeless guy's underwear.
Gavin's gonna be so happy that he gave us that shit. Do you know what?
Maybe discontinue that.
Do you know anything anything about acai?
Or at least Truth in Advertising, maybe label it something we wrang out of a homeless guy's underwear. Acai? I don't even know.
Oh, okay. It's a berry that grows on a tree. It's really good for you. That's it. There's a lot of antioxidants.
So we're gonna have some. We've got some some.
Yeah, we're gonna switch
get to
gears.
And then we'll have some fun stuff at the end. More fun for us. Little more lightheaded shit. Did I say lightheaded? I meant lighthearted. Well, it's us, so it's lightheaded.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also have to piss.
Okay, so we'll be right back. Welcome back to Spitballing, everybody. I'm Matt Taylor here with my good buddy.
Kyle Amundsen.
Awesome. All right. Well, what do you got on your list, Bubba?
I've got some stuff. Some of it I'm gonna fucking keep a pin in for now. Like I said, some of the more lighthearted shit we'll save towards the end. I did want to talk about the coronavirus a little.
Corona. So I heard that as long as you put a lime in the top of the bottle, that you can't get the coronavirus. Is that true?
Yeah, but it helps if you wrap yourself in toilet paper.
Oh, shit.
Go ahead. You're wrapped in toilet paper.
Well played. Well played. We did not plan that in advance. It actually was pretty good.
Our high-minded jokes. Potty humor is the most elevated humor you'll fucking get from us.
That is true. So yeah, what did you learn? And can you say where you learned it?
Yeah, kind of. I'm just not going to name her by name. But
if you go back, you will know that we have a crush on her.
Yes. So I was like every year, I go to the St. Patrick's Day parade in Cross Lake.
Oh, okay.
And I get fucked up. We have a float in the parade, and I have a great time. Fucking great time. I live for that. I look forward to that shit all year.
Have you named your alter ego I got Matthias, the drunk one, and then Mateo is like the crazy fucker.
No. As much as I joke about that shit, I now hold myself accountable for everything that I do when I'm blacked out.
Oh.
I know.
It doesn't seem very reasonable.
No, it's ever since I became a monk, I do that shit. It's this new thing I'm trying out called accountability. I'm just experimenting with it, and I'm going to share it with my Republican friends. So I'm like, okay, shit, looking forward to it. And then this whole coronavirus thing came up, not to mention, I've got a couple of other reasons that it was kind of not working out for me. Like Christine's going on a short trip, like the next morning. So I'm like, I do not want to be hungover.
And be responsible for boo-boo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
God damn, you might actually be grown up.
Right? Fucking accountability and stuff, Run, Republican friends. No, I'm joking. Don't send me hate mail or say anything fucking stupid.
We need more hate mail.
That's my job. We do need more hate mail.
You guys can email us or message us on
even when it
Facebook.
pisses me off. It's still fun for me because I feel like I'm good at responding. But so I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about all these reasons, and I'm like, coronavirus. So they canceled their parades and shit in Ireland. Boston canceled its parade.
Interesting.
So they're, and I'm like, man, because I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I got boo-boo at home, so like, I'm not like, okay, whatever. Like, I'll get a little fucked up, but like, I don't get horribly sick, like I've never been horribly sick, worst fucking, like, sickest I've ever been is like, yeah, I've had a couple of bouts of food poisoning that fucked me up.
Right, yeah.
But it's not myself that I'm worried about, whatever, like, but I've got other concerns. I don't want to give it, didn't want to spread it to boo-boo. And my parents are old, and my dad is on some medication that leaves his immune system kind of compromised.
Right.
And it's like, do I want to stay away from my fucking parents? No. The answer is absolutely fucking no. I'm close to my parents.
So I haven't really been keeping up on the coronavirus.
Well, I really was under the impression that there was a fucking big old media frenzy and there was a lot of hype, and and I was kind of pushing back against that. So it's not like I think that these people are stupid for doing that, but I feel stupid for what I found out.
Okay. So
I was like, okay, am I just being a fucking Nancy about this? Like what's the deal? Or is this a legitimate concern? So we have a friend who is an epidemiologist, works down at the U. And she was telling me, last time I talked to her, she mentioned how, a conference that she was going to, this like World Health Organization thing, was scheduled. It was in Paris, and they canceled that shit.
Okay.
Because of the coronavirus.
And that's, these are people that know. So
Yeah.
that's probably
Absolutely.
That's probably an interesting sign.
And I wanted to ask her because, like, I know, like, everybody has their favorite websites out there and shit that they get their information from. But this is someone that went to school for this and does it for a living and studies this shit and is in meetings with people that are in the know every fucking day. And,
Yeah, I remember talking to her one time and she was telling me about how she got a paper that she was really, like really working hard on published. And then like 83% of it was redacted. And it's like, because the shit that she's working on is fucking like, like shit, like, like fucking, people creating, viruses for bioweapons and shit like that. I mean, it's crazy shit that she's not doing, but she works on, figuring out how that works and shit. So anyway, what you have to say? You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls.
So I asked her, I'm like, hey, am I just being a puss? Like, I didn't say it like that because she's an adult. No, I might have said it like that. She's also like, cool. Really? She doesn't give a fuck. Like, first time I ever talked to her, I think I was hitting on her. I said some stupid shit, but it's part of my charm, whatever.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, get that one away from me. Hold on, I gotta try this one. Okay, this one's actually pretty good too. But
you're not actually wrong. This
no.
This grapefruit isn't great.
No, if we'd been camping for a week, I would still like ask you if I could lick your asshole to get a taste of that stuff out of my mouth.
Well, the answer would be, Kyle, your tongue's already in my asshole.
That's why we're camping together. So I feel like I'm taking some shots at that flavor.
What the fuck did she say?
So anyway, I asked her if I was just being a big pussy about this, and she told me. She shared a bunch of information with me because she is fucking
oh my God,
thorough.
I'm talking to my fucking dad here, Kyle.
It's build up. Ooh, are you excited yet? Have I built some tension?
Actually, my dad doesn't talk anymore, so I guess not.
She told me that her and her husband go do their grocery shopping in like the wee hours of the fucking morning to avoid people.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me.
They're avoiding social situations.
You're fucking kidding me.
Dude, like I said, fucking these other places are canceling their parades and shit, like in fucking Ireland. Like, okay, I know we want to celebrate St. Patrick. We actually celebrate St. Patrick's Day a lot differently than they do in Ireland. But
right.
They canceled their shit. Boston, that's a big fucking parade. Canceled. I'm waiting for St. Paul to cancel theirs. She's like you're making a sound move, she was like telling me about communications that she's got from like a friend in Spain, who Spain is basically fucking like they're like locking down their whole fucking country. People are fucking dying.
Really?
And we're like,
well
the flu is worse. Okay, the flu isn't worse. Like this is.
No,
I believe this shit.
I mean, I know the basics. I know that basically, like, you know what? I'm not sure that I do know the basics, but like the flu kills a fucking shit pile of people in America, but a lot of fucking people get the flu every year. So it's a very small percentage, 0.01, I think is what the percentage is. Yeah. And the coronavirus, which they don't even really know how contagious it is. So like they're thinking like, 40% or so of the population is probably going to catch it. And out of that 40%, 0.3% are going to die. That's a fucking lot of people.
Yeah. And I will, like, she declined to come on the show. That's why I'm not mentioning her by name. But I will share some of the stuff that she sent me, on our Facebook page.
Okay, good.
No, she was like, she was like, absolutely, and I told her that about
they're going grocery shopping in the wee hours of the morning.
Well, early in the morning anyway, to avoid crowds and stuff. They're avoiding crowds and shit. And they are here in Minnesota.
And I mean, okay.
She mentioned that there's only they've only found 2 cases in Minnesota right now.
Right.
But she's like, obviously, there are a lot more people out there walking around with this shit.
And it's very difficult when you're trying to tell people that, like, dude, like, believe me, this is a person that we really but this is a person that we really trust and is the opposite of a fucking idiot and the opposite of a person.
We've got a lot of smart friends. This might be our smartest friend.
Yeah, she makes Gibbons look like a fucking isn't it Gibbons a monkey? Is it? I think it is.
She makes gibbons look like a gibbon.
That's what I was going to say.
Nice.
But then I was wondering if it worked. Right?
Yeah,
it is a
absolutely
gibbon?
works.
Yeah. She makes gibbons look like a gibbon. I mean, she's
Yeah, except now you're going to get hate mail from gibbons saying that you're racist because they are not that dumb.
Oh. Gibbons monkeys are pretty smart? They're still fucking monkeys.
I don't know.
I could take one.
They're monkeys.
I think I could take one.
They're not like great apes. Great apes are smart.
Yeah. Just a monkey. Anyway, so if she's taking precautions,
Yeah.
that's pretty serious. Now, she does live in the cities,
Yeah.
and that's a place where there's a lot of people.
You know where else a lot of people from the cities will be this
The
weekend?
problem is them fuckers come up here, don't
The
they?
parade in
Them
Cross
sons
Lake.
of bitches.
That fucking parade is huge. The only parade bigger than that in this, in this state anyway, is St. Paul's. St. Paul's state. St. Paul's is bigger than that.
I'm glad this show is going to
Cross
come out before Patty's Day.
Oh no,
Yes, it will.
it will.
Yeah, before Patty's Day, yeah.
Oh, but not before they celebrate it in Cross Lake. That's Saturday.
We're putting the show out early again then.
Because we're saving your fucking lives.
Well, we have to.
No, so I learned some other stuff too. It wasn't all doom and gloom. I found out that, because I was like, I was worried about, like bringing it home and giving it to Boo Boo. But apparently children are not being affected in great numbers by this ailment. And that's something that they're looking at. And she could not explain that to me. But she said so far that's the data, like kids aren't being ravaged by this.
Huh.
Old people are, though. It's
right.
fucking killing old people.
I know. I told my boss, we were just talking about it, and she's like, well, yeah, I'll get into it, kind of what we're talking about, but I did say, it's horrible to say, but I did say, yeah, if I get it, I'm going to visit my pop. That's about the only reason I'll go to visit him before he dies. And it's too, I mean, is that assisted suicide? I don't know, but I'm going to go visit him and sneeze on him.
Yeah, so it's fucking up old people. People in their 40s have been getting fucking horrible cases. But yeah, then older than that, and definitely like the senior citizens and shit, they're getting fucked up by it. But kids, like, it's not like, oh, hey, I found out kids are safe. Maybe not safe, but not being, they're not. It's not like some fucking kid plague.
Right.
But
that's
like not to say that they're looking at that because they're not sure that like kids might carry it and transmit that shit like a motherfucker.
So kids might be,
your children might be like little plague rats.
Right. You don't know. Right. I mean, there's a lot of things. I did listen to one thing on NPR and they were talking to like a couple of like really, good experts on there. And there was, and what was kind of scary was that the answer a lot of times was, we just don't know.
Yeah.
We just don't know how long somebody can be contagious after they get it. We don't know if they can be reinfected. We don't know if, we know what the incubation period, between the time you get it and the time you start showing symptoms is typically, but we don't know if there are people that can carry that virus and never show and are asymptomatic, because we haven't found people that are asymptomatic yet, but there's a possibility that you could be like a fucking day walker where you're walking around and you're just giving everybody the goddamn coronavirus, but you feel fucking fine. That's kind of a scary thing.
Yeah. But she confirmed for me that that I was not, what I was considering doing was reasonable. So I think I'm going to skip it this year. I haven't been drinking anyway. I haven't had a fucking drink since October. I don't think I've been fucked up since August.
Us.
Yeah, right. So fucking, I, just wanted to put that out there. And also, and there was one thing, like this shit, like what I learned, made me think of something. Now I'm not a conspiracy theory guy.
Okay. I have a conspiracy theory about it though.
But for you, like, I know there's a couple of our friends out there that watch the show that do enjoy a good conspiracy theory. So come here. So if like an organization or a government or something that was whose like financial situation, their finances were just buckling under the weight of a segment of their population. If they were going to design, if they were inclined to design a disease.
Okay, we have the same conspiracy.
You know, kids appear to be mostly safe from it. Healthy adults can usually fight it off, but it fucking ravages the elderly, the chunk of your fucking population that eats up a lot of your resources in healthcare.
Jesus, that whole first hour and a half, we don't even have to. We can just delete. Both those fuckers are gonna be dead by November.
Oh wait,
and so will Trump.
I guarantee. Now, I might be talking out my ass, but remember, we're talking about conspiracy theories, not something we take seriously. But I fucking guarantee that rich people are not going to die from this disease. It's almost
Is
like
there something that she said that made you think that?
Just what I learned about kids, about it not affecting kids nearly as much as the old people and shit like that. And then I started thinking about other diseases, like just what if there was a disease out there that for a good long while just ran its core, just ran amok and only and basically targeted homosexuals and HIV drug users. But if you contracted it and you were rich, you could live with it for fucking indefinitely and have a really high quality of life. What if there was a disease like that? Weird. So, and again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm just saying.
So one thing I did read that did make me go, was that, what city is it that, where it started?
Oh, I don't know. Europe. It's fucking up Europe right now.
No. What city in China did it start?
Oh, if I did know, I probably couldn't pronounce it.
Okay.
Can we say Wu-Tang?
Sure. Wu-Tang. Wutan. It's something like that.
What do you know about Wu?
And in that city where they think patient zero came from.
We have a laptop right in front of us, by the way.
I know, but it'll probably take me 20 minutes to get that fucking webpage up. So it in the city that the coronavirus, the first outbreak just happens to also be the city where China's only level 4 disease center is, and that disease center is it works on bio weapon stuff. They're doing that, high level whatever. It's the only one that China has on the mainland. So that's interesting. Also, there were a couple of cases a few years ago where apparently some of the researchers there were selling the research animals to make some extra money, and those research animals were being butchered and sold on the street. So that was interesting. I mean, we're spitballing here. Do your own research. But
yeah, we're not trying to sell you some fucking weird conspiracy theory.
That said, a very intelligent person we know who works in this industry is grocery shopping when no one else is there and is not going to a
now
parade.
She's gonna fucking watch this and she's gonna be like, you're a fucking idiot for perpetuating this fucking conspiracy theory shit. In no way does she fucking lead me to any of this. This is just something. This is a flight of fancy.
But she did say the other part,
yes,
restricting the amount of people that you
her and her husband are fucking her and her husband are limiting their social contact, trying to avoid crowds.
Yeah, what's his name? Who cares?
Yeah. So we're not mentioning him by name either.
Oh yeah.
Handy. But yeah, so that's real. She's a fucking scientist that studies this shit. This is her job. This is what she does. She's very fucking smart.
Well, that is the exact opposite of what I expected you to tell me. When you sat down, because when Kyle came in today, he said, I have some information about Corona from, and I'm like, what did she say? And he said, I'm not going to tell you, we're going to get into it. And I was thinking, what the fuck? And I was thinking she was going to say, it's totally overblown. Don't worry about it. Do the basic things that everybody should do to avoid
and wash your hands, you filthy motherfuckers.
Yep, wash your hands. Try not to don't go around hugging everybody. Avoid.
That's hard.
But
I'm such a hugger.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And dry humper.
Fuck.
Hug.
That's
quick,
scary.
Big hug, quick dry hump.
So,
Can't even do that now.
and okay. So I got to stock up on bleach, all of it. I'm going to buy all of the bleach. Like, that's a fucking crazy thing too.
That is crazy.
Like, I was reading,
Settle
like,
the fuck down.
like, now,
like, do the smart
should
things. Don't panic over the weird shit.
do you know how much shit 1 gallon of bleach can sanitize?
Oh, good God.
Ungodly amounts. Yeah, that's a year's worth of bleach for sanitization. You know, you put like a half a capful in a gallon of water, dude, and it takes, you mist it and wipe it off. Like, it's very, very effective. And people are buying gallons and gallons of bleach, and like, you can't get bleach at, you know, and toilet paper and whatever. That part's pretty silly. But I am going to stock up on limes, so
Indeed.
that I can put them in the top of my beer, so that I don't get coronavirus.
Man, I'm going to stock up on fucking sympathy cards. Old people are going to be dying. And
Well,
that's one thing. Like, I'm like, man, I'm not fucking taking any chance. You know, like, oh, blah, 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 fucking worry, wart. I'm not taking any chances with my fucking parents' lives.
Yeah.
You know, or my fucking, you know, or boo-boo.
Well, I'm pretty sure I can survive this shit, so I'm going to every parade.
Go lick doorknobs.
Yeah.
Do it.
And then, but once I get it, I'll be very responsible, and I'll go into quarantine. But I'm definitely gonna go visit my dad. So yeah. Now,
I mean, you know, she and to reiterate, you know, she didn't she wasn't panicky about it, but they are taking like the smart, they're taking prudent precautions, and she's learning stuff. You know, they're figuring this shit out. You know, like there's not a lot of fucking
did
information.
you ask her if she thought it was if it was created?
No, I did not.
Oh. That might have been the end of your conversation.
I mean, Kyle, are you being a chicken shit? Maybe yes, maybe no, maybe go fuck yourself. But I do know that I'm going to take whatever, you know, reasonable precautions I deem reasonable.
Man, like I said, that's more than I thought. Now, I did have a thought.
Sure.
The other day, I was talking to my boss the other day, and I did make that comment about going visiting my dad, but we were talking about the numbers, about 3%, you know, 40, and how many people that really boils down to. And I was like, you know, the Black Plague, if there wasn't for the Black Plague, which killed about 25% of the European population, if we didn't have the Black Plague, we would not have had the Enlightenment. You know what I mean? Because and this is history. This is real. So during the time of the Black Plague, it was a serf system. So basically, you had big landowners, and then you had serfs. So the only time in history the divide between the top 1% and the bottom was that equivalent.
Again, we're leaving people behind here.
Oh, we are.
We're not talking about like Beach Boys songs and Catching a Wave and shit like that.
What the fuck? Oh, I don't get it.
Surfs.
I just assumed everybody knew what a surf was.
We're talking about the peasants.
Yeah, actually, but they weren't peasants; they were serfs. And there's only a very bit of a distinction, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah, you had the landowners, which were the top, 1%, and then you had everybody else, and everybody else was pretty much at the bottom. And then the Black Plague came, and 25% of the entire population was wiped out. And back then, it really didn't matter if you had money. Everybody, it killed indiscriminately, and also hygiene wasn't all that great. And then,
what was that Rutger Hauer movie? Blood.
Rutger Hauer. Are you talking about?
They were mercenaries and shit, and they took over that castle that had been emptied by the plague. Oh man,
it's gonna come to me. Actually, it's on my list of movies, of like historical movies that I really like. Okay, so 25% of the population died off, rich people and poor people, and all of a sudden, right, there was a lot less people around, which, and we're talking about
Flesh and Blood.
Medieval Europe.
Flesh and Blood is the movie.
That's it, Flesh and Blood. But the thing is that there weren't enough workers to work the land. So now you had a situation where I used to be a serf and I had to work this land or else I was going to starve to death. Now I had a landowner holder over here saying, hey, why don't you come work for me? I'll give you more, and I'll even let you own a chunk of land, and da-da-da-da-da. And that's what ended up kind of like birthing
socialism.
It's what birthed the Enlightenment. So we don't get Leonardo da Vinci. We don't get Michelangelo. We don't get Donatello. I'm really just naming off Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles now, but we don't get them without the Black Plague. So I mean, I don't know, to quote Jack Nicholson in Batman, "This town needs an enema."
It's a super famous line.
That's a great line.
All right.
Okay. Are we done?
Yeah, that's all I got for the coronavirus and shit.
I also fuck it. No, it would be a good Beach Boys song, Corona.
You remember
Ebola?
Remember that old fucking Val Kilmer movie, Top Secret or whatever? Was it Top Secret? It was a great movie. I'd probably fucking hate it now, but if everybody had a surfboard and a 12 gauge too, they'd be surfing and shooting. Yeah.
No.
Fuck you then.
So, Kyle, what do you know about HRT?
I'm trying to think of a clever...
Do you know what it is?
No.
Oh. Okay, it's hormone replacement therapy.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. And it's also called TRT, testosterone replacement therapy.
Strange.
So
people actually take testosterone stuff?
Yeah, or hormones. It's not necessarily testosterone, but
okay.
So a little while ago, about a month ago. So as most of you know, I've been going through a lot of physical shit, right? I fucking jacked my elbow. Hey, found a miracle drug. My elbow got better. But then I jacked my back, and then that was having a hell of a time healing. Anyway, I started going to this place in Baxter, and it's called it's hard. I always have a hard time remembering it. It's Axness, 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 and it's right on Clearwater Drive. And I found them on just on the internet. I was looking up, different, but I was looking for a place that would do some massage and like chiropractic. And I'm a horrible person to try to adjust. Everything's all fucked up.
I'm not an easy adjust either.
Yeah, well, that makes sense because you're like dense muscle, but you wouldn't think I would be so hard to adjust. I'm tiny and whatever, man. And I've even had like Brock, and he's great at adjusting. He's fucking just grabbed me and just ragdolled me, and he can't get my back to go. It's tough. Anyway, but this place, they also offer stem cell treatments, which I haven't looked into yet. I've talked to him a little bit about it, but I haven't looked into it yet. But I was just like, Jesus Christ, nobody's doing stem cell injections around here. And they are, which I thought was pretty interesting. Now, there's a lot of different, not all stem cells are created equal. And I haven't done the research on what kind of stem cells that they do, but it's still just interesting that they're doing something that's kind of like that cutting edge. But then they also offer HRT, hormone replacement therapy, and it's called BioT is the brand that they use. And so I got a bunch of information about it, and I had them do a blood test on me and kind of like check my levels. And then I went in for like a consultation. It's a free consultation. And, lo and behold, my overall testosterone was relatively low. And my free testosterone was relatively
with that age.
Right. Now, that's not uncommon. Once you pass the age of 40, it's just the way that it goes, right? But we live in a day and age where you don't have to choose to fucking, fade away. Right? You can, if you can, and I'm gonna
get a new skin.
Well, like, I don't want to live forever, but I also don't want to live shitty.
Quality of life.
Right? I just, like, if it's gonna be really shitty, fuck it. Right? I want to live as good as I can for as long as it's reasonable, right? So they suggested that I do this hormone replacement therapy, and their system is really interesting. What they do is they cut a little hole in your butt, right?
Already got one.
This is not a very
Check. Got that taken care of.
It sounds horrible. Then they take a straw, right, kind of thing, and then they shove the straw into your butt fat, and then they drop a pill into that fat, and then pull that straw out, and then they shove it in to a different area, drop a little pill in. So I have a bunch of pills in my ass fat. All right.
Now, I've stuck pills up my ass before.
It's a little bit different.
Okay.
A little bit different. And then what happens
High as fuck.
is it starts right away, but those pills dissolve into your bloodstream at a very gradual rate, but a very level rate over a period of about 6 months, and kind of not naturally, but gently lift your testosterone level. And testosterone is responsible for a ton of really important things, especially in men. It's also important in women, and then there's other estrogens also important in women. And it's not just sex drive. I mean, that's what everybody thinks. It's like, well, yeah, but it's not just that. It's. I mean, that's definitely a part of it. But its ability to heal. It's general mood and happiness. Getting fat. Like a lot of times, if you have low testosterone, you just kind of start gaining weight, and especially around your belly. And it's no matter how much you diet and how hard it's harder to get rid of that fat. And I could check off a lot of those check marks. So I did it 3 weeks ago, and I fucking feel great.
Excellent.
Yeah, I feel really good. So the procedure took about a half hour. It didn't hurt at all, right? You're all numbed up, and they cut, bam, it's pretty easy. And then, they don't give you a stitch. They just give you like a little like fake stitch and whatever. And then they're like, try to take it easy, a couple of days. Day 2, pretty sore. I felt like maybe somebody stuck a straw in my ass, which is kind of what happened. But not bad. I mean, not bad. It wasn't even limping. It was just like, oh, my butt hurts. And, I wouldn't have wanted to get spanked. Day 3.
Well, I'd be out then.
So I did it on a Thursday, and then Friday, and then Saturday, I had a 13-hour shift at the bar.
A full weekend without spankings? Why the fuck would why am I living?
I didn't go the whole weekend. So Saturday, I have a 13-hour shift at 9th Street, and it was busy, and like rocked it out. By the end of the night, my ass hurt bad. I was actually limping a little bit at the end of the night, and I was like, ooh, man, I don't know if this is going to go good. Woke up on Sunday and felt fine. So, man, but even like the next day, even the Friday, like I was just kind of a little bit chipper, kind of like my old chipper self, and I always felt like I think I've always been a pretty positive guy, but I do feel like in the last several years, I've kind of gotten a little more negative and a little more, I don't know, crotchety, and I always thought it'd be super fun to be a crotchety old man, but I think it's only fun to be a crotchety old man if you don't really feel it. If you just like, I'm of the age where I can be a dick for fun, not just be a dick because I'm a dick. I want to be a dick for fun. So anyway, I'm not 100% sold on the procedure yet. But I pushed my chips in the middle and I said, I'm going to do it. So I have 6 months, and then they'll redo my blood and we'll see what my testosterone level is and whatever. I did the full meal deal. I took the package that they like sold me, hook, line, and sinker, and didn't argue about anything. I'm like, okay, great. Whatever you think I should do, I'm going to do.
Bose stereo, leather seats.
Yeah, pretty much. Price tag was just under $1,000.
Oh wow, that's much less than I thought.
Yep, just under $1,000. No insurance covers it. It's not covered by insurance. Though my insurance did cover the blood work. If your insurance doesn't cover the blood work, I think they said it was like $145 to get the blood work done.
Blood work isn't as
not
much.
super expensive. But my insurance covered that. So The actual treatment was just under $1,000, and like I said, I took the full meal deal. I took all of the other supplements that they said that I should take, even though I have zero idea what any of them are and what they do.
75% of it's probably shit anyway.
Maybe, but they seem to have like good reasons for me to do it. They did seem legit
when they were selling it to you.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I'll do whatever you tell me to do for this 6 months.
Sure.
Right, and then we'll see. Now, I'd like to stop taking the supplements because, dude, I'm really bad at it. But so far, I've done it. I've taken my supplements, but I'm really bad at taking medication.
Well, my curiosity is piqued. Maybe I too will begin experimenting with supplementing my testosterone.
Right, that's a possibility. But I know that there's a lot of people out there who, I've talked to half a dozen people about TRT or HRT, but it just was something that nobody does it, I mean, like, to go and try to get your doctor to do your regular doctor to do TRT is like, they don't fucking understand. They don't know what it is, and And most of the time,
you got to see an endocrinologist and shit.
And most of the time, they do it with IM injections. So most of the time, they do 3 IM injections a week. And I fucking hate IM injections. It's an intramuscular injection.
I was going to ask what that was.
Shut up. And so, but it's a flu shot, right? It's like getting a flu shot. I hate, and I do, but I hate getting a flu shot. It really messes me up.
I hate needles too. I don't know if I could do that.
You do. You totally do.
Quick side note.
Oh, go ahead.
Remember when we were talking about how Canadians having to wait for fucking care and shit?
Yeah.
And I referenced how long you got to wait around here to see a fucking ear, nose, and throat doctor.
Yeah.
I'm on day 2 of waiting for a fucking call back from the appointment that I have to go to before I can, or the appointment that I have to at least make before I can even make an appointment.
Right.
At a fucking ear, nose, and throat doctor. Day 2 of waiting for my phone call to be returned.
Right.
So, yeah, anyway, I wasn't bullshitting about that. Maybe there's just a shortage of ear, nose, and throat doctors around here. I don't know, whatever. Yeah. But everyone else can just walk.
Yeah, no, we can't get Medicare for all because the wait times will be just ridiculous.
Yeah, it'd be a nightmare.
Yeah. So anyway, just last thing on this is that if you're interested in it at all, I really suggest that you check it out. Their website is I don't actually know, Axness. Just Google Axness Baxter, you'll find it. But if you do go in and get a free consultation with them, I really want you to do me a favor. In the reference, they ask you who referred you. All right? Don't put down Matt Taylor. Put down Spitballing. Okay? Just want to see how much we can get of that. Because now there is they do have a rewards program where if you refer so many people, you get what. I don't care about that.
This is an experiment.
And so even if you don't, it's going to cost you $150 if you don't have insurance that will cover the blood work. So if you don't think you need hormone replacement therapy, then just save your fucking money. But if you think that's something that you're interested in, I really suggest you go in for the thing. It was really interesting and enlightening.
You should get your blood work done once in a while anyway.
Yeah, but you can have your doctor do your blood work too. But they check everything. They said that my prostate was good. And I was like, you didn't even put your finger in my butt. And then they said that, and then
you got fucking ripped off.
I'm sure she did put her finger in my butt when she was doing the other thing, but I was all numb. So that seems like bullshit.
Yeah, if I'm shelling out that kind of money, I better damn well get some fingers up my ass.
But just put Spitballing down in the referred line because we talked about Spitballing when they were doing this, and I'm gonna get a kick out of it if it comes up. Okay, so that's it on that one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now we got the fun stuff. And the verdict is in. 2 out of 3 of these flavors are excellent. But this one might taste better if you bong it through the unwashed intestine of a fucking grizzly bear.
But if you're gonna do bong, don't do a bong until this coronavirus thing is over. That's really bad. That's an easy way to transmit.
That's actually probably a legit idea,
Yeah.
especially we don't.
I mean,
know
unless
if
it's just
grizzly
by yourself.
bears might carry that shit.
Yeah.
But are we down to our fun stuff?
Yeah. Yep. I
Okay.
don't have anything else super serious. Nope.
Okay. So how far into Altered Carbon are you?
I am 3 episodes in.
That's about where I'm at too.
Yeah. So, what do you think?
Well, I'm not loving it like I did the first season.
Totally
I
agree.
think mostly because I don't dig what's his name, the guy, the Falcon or whatever.
Agreed.
The guy that is playing
I don't dislike him.
Tayashi.
Yeah.
That's his name. So he's playing Tayashi, and yeah, I don't dislike him. I'm just kind of, and maybe I'll like it more as the show goes on. I feel like I liked the show better as it went on during the first season. So at this point, I'm not super in love with it, and I think that guy is kind of he might be a fucking one-trick pony. Like always playing the same guy.
Yeah.
Like kind of that. He looks like pissed off all the time, and
So again, I loved the first season of Altered Carbon.
Oh yeah.
I loved the books. I have no idea what's going on in this show. I'm 3 episodes in. I'm like, what? I don't know anything about it. So and the first season really followed the first book. So I feel like what happened is that some writers thought that their version of they were going to take this world and just kind of fucking go off on a tangent was going to be very successful and da-da-da-da.
I mean, it's still cool. There's a lot of cyber, it's
Very
real
cool.
cyberpunk.
Yep, very cyber. Yep. But the other night, and I almost never do this, like I was sitting there watching the 3rd or 4th episode, and I found myself surfing Facebook on my phone. And then I was like,
That's not a good sign. I am going to power through it because
I probably will watch it.
Something actually got in the way that isn't on my list, but I started watching that. But then I picked up HBO because there was a couple of series and a couple of movies that I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch that World War I documentary where they colorized all that footage and added sound and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
It's called They Will Not Grow Old or something shit like that. Yeah, They Will Not Grow Old. Peter Jackson actually did it.
Oh.
And it's pretty interesting. But I so I started watching The Watchmen, the series.
Okay.
This superhero group and shit.
Yeah. I've
really,
heard a little bit about it. But
it's good stuff, man. The movie kind of really was the Watchmen movie lacked a lot, but the series. Now, I would say that it would be fair. If you wanted to do a little research, you're going to have a lot of questions that'll slowly be answered for you in the series. It would be fair to go ahead and read up on that world a little bit, to do a little research before you start watching it.
Okay. And that's on HBO.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's, I do not know these things. I'm just piecing it together as I watch the show, and it hasn't ruined it for me. It's pretty fucking great, really. It's actually really fucking good.
I mean, HBO doesn't really miss.
They don't
very
fuck
often.
around. Yeah.
No, I think that they're they just got some. I don't like. I mean, I bet you there is some shit on HBO that I wouldn't watch. But
yeah,
I've never got into anything on HBO that I didn't like.
Fucking. I mean, look at how great Rome is, and fucking Game of Thrones and all this shit. Goddamn, The Sopranos and fucking. Oh, you know what I didn't love? Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, you're right. I watched 4 or 5 episodes and just went. I have no interest.
I watched the whole series in its entirety, and I'm still waiting for it to get good, and it's over.
Oh,
it's over.
Hollywood, whatever the fucking show is.
Oh, what? Oh,
what's that fucking Quentin Tarantino?
Oh, you didn't like that?
Oh my fucking god!
I liked it.
Because
I was expecting it to be horrible, but it wasn't. It was pretty.
I hated it so much.
Really?
I was seriously going to try to get a refund from Amazon for my $5.
Oh man.
It was 7.5 hours long. It was fucking incredibly boring.
See, I enjoyed it.
But it was one of those shows where you're like, oh, I have a feeling like something's going to happen. Oh, I have a feeling like something's going to happen. Oh, I feel like something. And nothing fucking happens. And by the end, when something does happen, It's not nearly enough to fucking pay off the 7.5 hours I just spent watching a 9.5 hour movie.
Have you checked out that Nazi Hunter show on Amazon? Hunters?
No, I heard a little bit about
Al Pacino and stuff.
I just haven't had it. Yeah, I see the previews for, but I don't
it's
have
okay.
time.
But you know what was really
I'm
good?
losing the shop. What?
The Outsider.
You sent me that message, and I was like, what?
And that was Stephen King.
Okay, so is this connected to? Oh God, I don't think I'm gonna have another. I'm floating already. Is it connected to?
I think it's connected to it.
Okay, yeah, but what's the other one that you and Abby were
Castle
out
Rock?
About? Castle Rock. That's not any.
Nope.
No. Okay.
But yeah, that show is actually pretty fucking cool.
Cool. Well, I know a lot of you do tune in. I don't know if you specifically tune in for this, but I get a lot of feedback about different shows that we recommend, and I love that because even though I don't have as much time as Kyle does to watch shit, because I don't have a little boo boo who enjoys The Watchmen. We enjoy recommending stuff, and I want to start a new segment of the website. Where we kind of are going to do actual recommendations and our reasons behind it, and we're going to kind of do different categories.
Maybe organize it a little bit. You know, like kind of a format for these recommendations.
This is Matt's recommendation for TV series. Is that the plural of series?
Series is
TV's series.
Yep.
I don't like it. We're gonna have to change that around.
Series as it is.
Series as it is.
And easy to say.
Yeah, and then we'll have maybe my top 10 TV series and reasons why. And when I sent Kyle this on Facebook, I said for example, it'd be here's Matt's favorite TV series, and then I was like and not necessarily in the order, just these are the top 10 of that way. But what popped in my head right away was Northern Exposure, and then why do I love Northern Exposure? And I watched Northern Exposure when I was about 14, 15. It came out, and I fucking couldn't wait for it to come out. And Thursday nights, watched every single episode. Loved it. And then it ended. It wasn't the kind of thing that got syndicated. Years and years go by. It was never on any streaming services. So finally, I was talking about it one day, and I was like, God damn it, I fucking thought Northern Exposure was the best TV series I've ever seen. And I can't watch it anywhere. And I found it on Amazon. And you had to buy the box set. And it was fucking expensive. It was $85 or some crazy shit for this box set of it. But it came in a moose hide bag.
But worth it just for fucking O'Connor and that pixie haircut.
Best value I've ever had.
I had a
First
huge
of all,
crush on her.
Loved the series. Did it hold up? Yup. It almost held up.
It was so fucking smart, man.
It almost held up. It was almost
and the characters were so fun.
So well done. And Maggie, as you said, with her little butch haircut was because you ever watch something from the 70s and that chick was super, or I have a good example. Dukes of Hazzard. Right?
Yeah.
When I watched Dukes of Hazzard, man, I thought fucking Daisy Duke was hot when I was 7. Well, I caught a Dukes of Hazzard a while ago. It had to be a while ago because it's since been completely pulled off TV because of the General Lee's flag. But
whatever.
Virtual signaling. That's our side. Sorry, guys. I used to think she was super hot, and I watched a Dukes of Hazzard, and I was like, whoa, that can't be the same woman. That woman is not hot. Well, so it's
probably just because you knew fucking underneath those fucking short shorts, you probably had a philosophy major, Bush.
Anyway, putting a pin on it. But
that's true. That's true. Never mind.
So it's sometimes, you go back 10, 15 years and you're like, ooh, but no, Northern Exposure totally holds up. So that's kind of the idea. So what I wanted to ask you guys is, what do you want our recommendations on? And you can post it on this episode's Facebook stream. You can message smoke signals. We'll get it however you want to get it. But yeah, because we love to recommend shit. Even if we don't really have good recommendations, we'll still tell you.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean,
And then it'll also give us a chance to have shit to talk about on here too. Like, hey, I just put up a new recommendation.
Yeah,
because one we haven't.
Because you can probably tell by how short we're running on all these. We're running out of stuff to talk about.
We're totally running out of shit to talk about. One series, and also Western that I fucking loved, and I don't think we've ever touched on, is Westworld.
We have mentioned it before.
Did we? We didn't mention
and
it
I've
in
actually
the
been sitting
Western.
on my Westworld shirt, not physically sitting on my shirt, but I've been waiting to wear this goddamn shirt until the third season came out. Now the third season, okay, since we're going to release this one early too, that's great. The 15th, I believe.
Okay.
Sunday, the third season starts.
Okay, I didn't realize they were going to do a third season.
Yes, we've had this conversation before.
Okay, we have. I have the Allsies. But yeah, because the first season ended on a total cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And then
the second season
took them a long time to come out.
Yeah.
But the second season wrapped, and I thought wrapped it completely up.
Well, the third season, I think, if you're looking for Western stuff,
the genie's out of the bottle in the third season. That's what that's about.
Yeah.
Oh,
I recommend watching the trailer.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for the recommendation.
I'll put it on the Facebook.
Yeah. I don't watch trailers if I know I'm going to. I might watch a trailer if I have no idea if I'm interested in that thing, but I will never watch a trailer for something I absolutely know that I want to watch because it fucking wrecks shit for me.
Fair.
Yeah. So that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might have to get that too. I'm spending too much money on fucking TV shit. Okay, so I think I covered that. Okay, one other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about quick, or I wanted to just put out there quick, is another thought experiment. So in this, time where everything seems so divisive, I kind of wanted to ask you what would you do if you got to become a dictator of America? So like the rules are you pretty much get to enact whatever the fuck you want to enact. Right. And then you can how long is it going to take you to do that? And then what's your exit strategy? Like, how do you get out? And then what do you do after that? Are you going to have a successor or so on and so forth? But,
people that work customer service can fight one customer per day.
Back in ancient Rome, right? Do you know the origin? You should, of dictator. You know how
if you say potato with a penis, I'm out of here.
I almost went to that as Halloween one time. But yeah, so what would happen in ancient Rome is like, everything was run by the Senate. But then in times of great need, right?
Then they would
appoint a dictator, and that person would have pretty much ultimate power.
Fucking carte blanche.
But only for a period of time. And that period of time was usually dictated in advance, right, by the Senate. So we might elect Kyle dictator for 3 years, and at the end of the 3 years, he has to abdicate, right? And it was a really interesting system.
Even though you guys wouldn't want me to go.
And there were very, very few rules to what the dictator could and couldn't do. The only thing the dictator couldn't do is not abdicate and change the rules, right? He couldn't say, you can no longer, force me to leave, right? And the system worked pretty fucking good until Julius Caesar. But he was basically the exception that changed the rule. He was the dictator that did not abdicate. But you could argue whether or not that was a good or bad thing, but regardless. So my question to you guys is, what would you do if you were a dictator? How would you fix things? And you have absolute power to do so, but you only have that power for a certain amount of time. And then what's your exit strategy? And I want you to think about that same thing. And I want to talk about that next episode.
I will, like I do every day.
Yeah. And then, I crossed out.
I'm good. I'm
okay.
good.
We needed to explain a little bit about our dearly departed.
Yes. The whole thing about Mike Starry being dead is that originated. That was a little bit that we did when Mike had his heart attack, because then I made that joke about him being deceased,
Right.
and then we talked about me being able to contact him via Facebook. And that's what that was about. A while back, Mike had a heart attack, but like everybody that knows Mike knows that Mike has built up a tolerance to dying over the years, and just by killing by killing himself and being killed a little bit like every day for 40 something years. So yeah, that's where that whole thing last episode came from.
And guys, listen, if you come across a bit or a joke or some like inside reference that we make, it's because you haven't watched every fucking episode. Go back to one and start over.
Yeah, and if you have watched those episodes and you still forget that shit, you need to take some fucking notes.
Or you need to message us because we seriously may not have ever talked about it inside the episode. I do forget sometimes what we talk about.
I'm just thinking that like
but we
somebody's going to
reference
transcribe
back to
this
shit.
shit. Oh, yeah, we do a lot of callbacks.
Well, our good buddy Danny Sargent is.
Yes,
In exchange
we'll
for a
have Danny-
in exchange for a T-shirt that says the sun
the sun's getting real low.
Sun's getting real low. See, that's a reference from the Danny Sargent episode that you probably didn't watch all the way through. So fuck you. If you don't want to hear that story, then you don't get to know. So I'm not going to re-explain that. That's not my job.
So Danny's going to transcribe all
Jesus
this shit.
Christ. I get him. I was feeling a little.
Fuck. Verklept. So Danny's going to transcribe this shit for us, and then we're going to bury copies strategically
Balanced.
around the world.
Thank you, Gavin Rydell.
Right on. And then 1,000 years from now, spitballing is going to become a religion, probably the major religion in the world at the time. And then the world will be united under that one religion. We can actually get some shit done. We won't have a bunch of warring religions and shit.
We aren't too dictator yet.
We're dictatory.
We're on Pharaoh. Okay. Last thing I wanted to talk about.
Promise.
Was last Friday. I went to the benefit for Carol Pashelke.
You got the new album.
And I did.
Motherfucker.
And that is why we put the episode out early because my friend Carol had back surgery and of course her insurance sucked. So I went to her benefit, and then afterward my good buddy Drew Peterson was playing and I was able to pick up his new album. And I had mentioned, and I talked to him about how I didn't want to play any of the new songs that they didn't have released already. And he goes, "Oh, I don't fucking care what you do. Do whatever you want. I love you." So taking you out today, I'm going to play this.
Not a known giver of fucks.
He is not a known giver of fucks. So today I'm going to bring you out with a song I talked about, and it's called Selma. And it's about going down with the ship. And I absolutely love this song. It's so like incredibly like, it gives me chills. But I asked Drew, I said, "Drew, what the fuck does Selma mean?" And he said it was my grandma's name. I said, "Dude, I spent an hour on the internet trying to figure out what Selma had to do with ships." And I was like, all I found is that it's like a light racing yacht. But I said, that didn't seem to make sense. And he's like, "Oh, dude, you can't look too much into the names." It never says anything about Selma in it. Awesome show. It was super fun. I got to hang out with Abby.
Yeah.
She was there that night. Got to drink a bunch of good beers. Got to talk to Suli, our friend who is the manager over there. And I think I got her 3/4 convinced to come on the show at some point.
I had to work, and then I had a fucking like a medical emergency, and then there was some shit that happened at the bar that I want to talk about at another time, but I probably shouldn't talk about it at this point.
So this album is still not available. It's going to be coming out shortly. You can get it at his live shows, but keep checking back drewpeterson.com. And this one is for my buddy, the Kai Guy.
Oh shit! Awesome.
I already have it.
Nice.
He sent it to me in advance, bitch.
God damn.
Yeah. And you still have a CD player. It's a great album.
I do
though.
somewhere.
And there is, and one thing is that
one in my car.
one thing I like about Drew's CDs, he does a really good job with them always. I mean, not just the music, but it has all the words on the inside. And I got a kick out of it because I was like, "Oh, it's nice. It's got all the words." that Kyle is never going to be able to read. They're super tiny.
Man, I got my glasses.
Even with your glasses, bro. They're pretty tough. I was like,
I've got a magnifying glass app on my phone too.
oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, there you are, brother.
Excellent.
Okay. Well, thank you guys, and we will see you next week. Stay safe, sanitize your hands, buy up all the bleach, do all that kind of shit.
Man, yeah. Encourage people to wash those hands. Nasty motherfuckers.
That's right. All right.
Captain, something has gone wrong. Something's happening. Think we're slowing down. There's water in my quarters. There's a river in my bed. All the minutes turn to mourners. Figure I would want them dead. Captain, think we're going down. Burn a crow's nest, so you don't see solid. You don't see solid. You don't see solid ground. Put a letter in a bottle, set it adrift at sea, and addressed it to my darling, asking her to marry me. Oh God, my Father, have mercy on me. Send me safely sailing back to my baby.